Hello, how are you? So glad to be here with you. Thanks for joining me today with day 5 of our Dreamer 5-day challenge. Today has been the day that we have been looking forward to. It's really cool too because today ended up falling July the 1st, and the first day, it's a Friday, but it's kind of the beginning of the 4th of July holiday weekend for those of you who are here in the United States. And if you aren't actually U.S. citizen, that's okay. I hope that you'll celebrate the 4th of July and this whole weekend with us, celebrating your independence, your freedom to be exactly the you that you were created to be, to make the difference in this world that only you can make, to dream your dreams and see those dreams come to reality. Hi, my name is Steve Kidd. I'm a third generation minister, an international best-selling author of a whole bunch of books. I have worked with authors, thousands upon thousands of them, to work in every aspect, not only the writing and the publishing, but also all the marketing that comes after with their books. And more importantly than the thousands is the millions of people that those books' lives have reached and changed, and the big, huge, more enormous difference that every single one of them makes in the world by just simply being them. And I think of you when I say that because I know how huge that dream that's inside of you is and how important it is that it come out and change the world in the way that it was meant to. On Sunday, when I did the introduction to this, it wasn't part of our 5 days technically, but it did tie in really well because we were talking about the story of the life of Joseph, and all that Joseph went through, being sold into slavery, being accused of a crime he didn't commit, and thrown into jail, and being forgotten for years and years. And then when he should have been remembered, forgotten again for years and years. And yet, through all of that, Joseph blossomed right where he was. When he became a slave, he rose to being second only to Potiphar himself in the household. When he was in jail, he became second only to the jailer himself, having the only distinction between him and the jailer be that the jailer could go home at night, and Joseph was stuck there. And finally, the dream that's so easy is to give up on, isn't it? The dream came to life. It came to light. And Joseph rose to the preeminence in Egypt. Most people would agree that the events that happened in Egypt, their storing up of the grain for the 7 years, and then being the central hub, the only place in the quote unquote civilized world, in the known world then, that had food was Egypt. And Egypt rose to the superpower that it became. Most of the archaeologists that I've seen recently are talking about the fact that Joseph probably was further back historically than what, like the movie The Ten Commandments set it at. It's probably before Ramses, probably back into what was known as the early era of Egyptian. And although they were an empire by all means, I really believe that them becoming the central hub, the only place really in all of the whole area to be able to get food was there in Egypt, is why Egypt's Middle Kingdom, the one that we think of when we think of all the pyramids and all that, and then their later kingdom, which was still a very preeminent Egypt for so many centuries, ruled over that whole area and was really the place, really, until many, many, many years later, when you're talking about the rise of the Babylonian Empire. And even then, there were some significances that even then the chariot soldiers of the Egyptians had against the Babylonians and then the Medes and the Persians. And you really get into really the Roman Empire, before you really see a completely decimated Egypt that is subservient like the rest of the world was at one point to Rome. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off into a history lesson on you, but it's just so significant how huge that one pivotal event. Some of you may have seen the Facebook Live that I did where I was talking to my dad about that and about how, my belief system is that God, who knows everything, who exists in the past, present, and future simultaneously, because he's not a time-restrained creature like we are. Creature is a very limiting word for God, but you know what I mean. God had a plan to move Joseph straight from his father's house to being second in command in Egypt. And my father said to me, "Oh, God, this was so powerful." He said, "Actually, what if God's actual plan was for Joseph to rise up right there in his father's household where he was? What if God's perfect plan, which very seldom comes about because we're flawed human beings and we get our whole mess in there and mess things up, and God keeps bringing about his will and his way, even with all of our craziness, all of our faults and failures, but what if God's plan would have been to have Israel rise up then as a mighty nation, to have never gone into slavery, to have been the central hub for the world that could have potentially existed even still into our modern day, rather than being a relatively small and, in the scope of things, new country like the country of Israel that we know is now. Think back into those ancient times to win the land of Canaan, and how vast it was in its expansiveness and the impact that would have made. There's so many things in that story, and I'd love sometime if somebody want to get together and talk through all of the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and then on to Joseph, and all the nuances of the things that we still deal with here in modern society that have to do with the human frailties of each and every one of those people. The point being is, the dream had a great, amazing, powerful thing that had to come true. The whole, literally, of the world was hinged on that dream coming to pass. Without it, Egypt doesn't save food, nobody has food, and we have a massive starve-off event in the whole of the world. It's really cool to see how that far in advance plans were laid. Your dream is no different. It's a plan that's been laid out way in advance before you even came, and there was a purpose for you coming. I love how T.D. Jakes says that God was so invested in you coming into this world that he didn't care that it took the two people that it took in order for you to be the absolute specific DNA that you are. He brought them together so that you could come into existence. You are a winner. You are powerful. You are chosen from before your birth. If two other people, obviously, you'd be somebody different. If at a even microsecond different in time had been their coupling, you would be a different genetic match. It was a perfect, absolute win of all of the universe that came together in an exact microsecond in time to create you, to bring forth the dream that is you. And so now is your time to take action. The dream is only as powerful as it's shared and enacted upon. So number one, you need to find a way every day. Start your day asking yourself the question, now that you know and believe how real and powerful the dream is. The question is, what can I do to be the best version of me today? Whether that be I need to rest because tomorrow's going to have huge things, or whether it be just simply smiling, or other things to somebody next to you, taking a phone call and saying, hey, I'm here to help you any way, anything that I can do. Whatever that thing might be to help you be the best version of you today, do it wholeheartedly. And then second, you need somebody reading that label on the outside of your jar to see the navigation map and help you navigate your way from where you are to that destiny, that dream, that purpose that is yours, because it's on the outside of that jar too. You need a navigator so you can keep your eyes on the prize and your eyes on the road, and they can tell you, okay, now coming up here, we've got a right-hand turn. Slowly merge into the right-hand lane. That's it. Now, we're going to be merging into traffic here on the right, so be careful. They can help you with all of those kind of things. And it would be such an honor to be the one that you chose to help you navigate those things. Yes, absolutely. I believe every single person should have a best-selling book. I know from experience that it is the number one marketing credential that you can get in the entirety of all the credentials available right now. My medical doctors would be the ones that would be the first to tell you that them being a best-selling author does more for them than the 20 years they practice medicine in their specific specialty. It's something you absolutely need, but it's the tip of the tip of the tip of the whisper of the iceberg. It is the foundation. It is the credential you must have. And now is when the being, all that you are, and the releasing of the dream that is capsulized, shared with the world, but now needs to be enacted upon every day. That's where we go. That's the bigger point and purpose of the reason why I was put on this planet, was to be here right now for you, to help you up level on and on, ongoingly. Now, this is for some very specific, exclusive kind of people who are ready to up level constantly. It's not for the timid. It's not for the settling, okay with it. It's for you, the dreamer, the person whose dream is too big. You can't even fathom all of it, and when you begin to touch it, it feels overwhelming. We're going to break it into bite-sized pieces and move forward. And that starts by us just creating a relationship, a friendship, getting to know each other. I'm not here to ask you to marry me on the first conversation. I just want to get a chance to get to know you and add some value into your life. To that end, go to askstevekid.com. It's in the description. I also just posted it. Go to askstevekid.com and schedule a time right now to meet with me for free. Let's talk for 15 minutes. See what I can do. What one little empathic insight into your life, what a huge difference it could make. I've had people so many times that have been like, oh, wow, hold on, I've got to write that down. I never thought about it that way. It's the gifting God's given me. It's my dream and my purpose to show up here in this world, to be there for you. Because no dream is any good till it's shared with the people that it's meant to be shared with. So you, oh dreamer, you powerful, amazing, incredible creature. First, let's just start with this first free call. I have options for you. I'd love to go really deep with you. I'd love for you to be somebody who identifies themselves as part of my brand new, just now, right this second being announced, up-level experts group. This is like something you've never seen before. It's going to be a very exclusive group of people who intentionally are up-leveling every day, every week, every month, all year long, to get better and better and change the world with the dream that's inside of them. And all of the ability to be in that group and all the things we're going to bring to the table, the research and the team of people praying over you and all the other things that we will be doing for you, as well as the things that we're going to bring to you for you to be able to do, because ultimately your up-leveling is an action of yours. All of that starts with this free call. 15 minutes with Steve for free. Now, yeah, I should probably charge for it, and I may in the future, but right now I just want to get together with you for free. I've got some cool things that we're going to introduce to you this weekend, and it all starts from us just having that conversation, seeing what I can do in those few minutes to help you out, getting some insights on you, getting to know you, and then seeing where we go from there. I look forward to it. Go to askstevekid.com. I can help. I can do it for you right now. You need it. I'm honored and blessed to be part of it. Let's go change the world together as we uplevel exceedingly, abundantly above all that you could ask or even think, to live a life that is thriving and truly free. Till we're together again next time, have a wonderful, amazing 4th of July weekend. Or if you're listening on the replay, whenever it is for you, have a great week.